Hi everyone, hoping that you can see me okay. Welcome, my name is Kate. Thank you for joining me today for Yoga Inner City's virtual studio class for beginners. Today's class is going to be focusing on our shoulders and hips, helping us release and let go of anything that no longer serves us as we prepare to enter a new calendar year. Please consult with a medical practitioner before engaging in any exercise, including yoga, with any questions or concerns. This is particularly important if you are pregnant, nursing, taking medication, or have any pre-existing medical conditions. With this yoga practice and with any yoga practice that you participate in, it's important to keep in mind that yoga is your practice, which means it's more important to focus on how each pose feels within the body versus what it looks like on the outside. So you never have to look like me or anyone else. If you feel something that resembles pain while practicing asana or physical yoga, pain can sometimes show up as a burning, throbbing, stabbing, tingling, or numbing sensation, or sometimes even a strong emotional response. That's your body's way of telling you that that pose doesn't work for you, to come out of the pose, to try it a different way, or to exit the pose entirely. You'll see I'll be using a few props for today's practice. I have a yoga mat, I have a blanket, I have a cushion, blocks, and a yoga strap today. Please feel free to use any props to best support you, even if they are props that differ from mine. With that said, I think we can begin. So I invite you to enter practice today lying down on the back. And if you're practicing on a hard surface like I am, it might be beneficial to cushion the spine with a blanket or a towel. And as you come into a reclined position, just notice how the spine feels when you relax it. I invite you to explore Supta Baddha Konasana, which is reclined butterfly pose, by bringing the bottoms of the feet together and allowing the knees to open wide towards the edges of the mat. And if this feels like too much stress on the inside lines of the hips and the thighs, I invite you to place a block beneath each knee to help support those legs, or exit the pose by just straightening out the legs in front of you. So listening to your body and choosing a pose that works for your legs and hips today. And then once you have the legs situated, you can play with the arm placement. If keeping the hands on the body or by the sides is comfortable, I invite you to keep them there. Maybe cactus arms or opening your arms out wide on the mat feels best for you today. Whatever you choose, choose a pose where you can feel completely supported by the mat beneath you. Noticing if you're clenching any muscles to maintain the pose and then adjusting the posture in a way that allows you to relax. And if it's comfortable to do so, gently close the eyes. If eyes closed is not comfortable, find a spot on the ceiling that's not moving and gently rest your gaze upon that spot. And we'll begin by grounding ourselves by just noticing what our natural presence is on the mat right now. Without trying to change your experience in any way or tell yourself what you should be feeling, just notice what's here, what comes up for you. If it's helpful, you can first check in with the physical body. When I said what shows up for you, what did your attention go to? Do you feel where the bottoms of the feet may be touching each other, or where the feet or the spine make contact with the mat? Are you feeling any external sensations like maybe warmth or coolness? How are you showing up emotionally now? What emotions are present for you? Is there something you're experiencing in this moment, or is there something you're holding on to from a previous encounter or anticipating in the future? Again, without trying to change what's here and present for you right now. Just notice. Bringing your awareness to the thoughts, the mind, the control center of the body. Again, without judgment, without being harsh on yourself, just notice what the mind was doing. If you're comfortable where you are, you can keep your hands where they are. If you feel comfortable with the hands on the body, you can place both hands over the belly. We'll engage in 3-part breath on our back today to warm up the diaphragm and engage the core. On the inhale, breathe in through the nose fully and deeply, filling the belly, the rib cage, and the chest with breath. Feeling the breath in the belly with the hands as the belly moves away from the ground. And then releasing the breath out through the nose, from the belly, from the chest, the rib cage, and then the belly, feeling the belly sink back towards the ground. Making your exhale longer than your inhale before breathing in again fully and deeply in through the nose, filling the belly, the rib cage, and the chest with breath. Really feeling fully expanded with air. Stretch out that diaphragm. And then releasing the breath out through the nose, from the chest, the rib cage, and the belly. Making your exhale slow and long before inhaling again in through the nose, filling the belly, the rib cage, and the chest with breath, holding the breath in at the top for a count, sipping in a little bit more air, really feeling that belly full of breath, before releasing the breath out through the nose, from the chest, the rib cage, and the belly. Allowing the breath to return to its natural rhythm. And on one of your inhales, when you're ready, taking a full body stretch, very carefully straightening one leg at a time, bringing the arms up overhead, getting as long and tall as you possibly can on the mat. Maybe opening the eyes if you're ready to, taking a moment to look around your external environment and taking in all of the light. If it's more comfortable to roll to one side, you can choose to do that. If you'd like to explore rolling forward and back on the spine to come up to a seated posture, you can. Wherever you are, we'll meet in boat pose, starting with the feet on the mat, bringing the hands to the sides of the knees, and the torso comes down ever so slightly away from the knees, engaging the core, warming up the powerhouse of the body, building a foundation for our practice. Our core is so important because it protects our entire body, our entire spine. So notice if you're shaking here, keep a lift in the chin and chest, embrace that shake. And then inhale, hug the knees into the chest, maybe taking a moment to rock from sit bone to sit bone before we enter another boat pose, bringing the torso back down. Now the feet can stay on the mat if you were comfortable here, or if you like more of a challenge, you can raise the feet off of the mat, keeping the hands facing each other in line with the legs, the knees. Engage that core, keep a lift in the chin and chest. Notice what the breath is doing. And then inhale, hug the knees into the chest. Give yourself a little rock as you make your way into a comfortable seated posture. Perhaps your legs are crisscrossed or maybe they're straight out in front of you. We'll begin by linking the movement to the breath. On the inhale, the arms come up and you look up to the ceiling. Exhale, hands make their way to heart center. 2 more just like that. Inhale, arms up, look up, reach up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. 1 more. Inhale, arms up, look up, reach up. And exhale, hands come to heart center. This time we're going to inhale the arms up. And as we exhale, palms face the screen, bring the elbows into goalposts. Really draw the shoulders together behind you. Inhale, arms come up, the head comes up. Exhale, goalposts. One more. Inhale, arms up, look up, reach up. And exhale, goalposts. Inhale, both arms come up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring the left hand in front of you. Right arm comes behind you, gently twisting open to the right. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, right arm comes in front of you, grabbing onto the left knee, twisting open to the left. And we'll flow like this for 2 more. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms to the right. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms to the left. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms to the right. One more. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, arms to the left. This time as we inhale, just the left arm comes up overhead. Reach that left arm up and over the right side body. Keeping both sit bones firm in the mat. Inhale, arms back up to center. Switch those hands out. Right arm comes up and overhead on the exhale. Reaching over to the left side body. Inhale, back up to center. Switch those arms out. Left comes up, right by the hip. Over to the right side body. Inhale, back up to center. Switch those arms out. Left hand comes down, right hand comes up. And reach that right arm up and over the left side body. Inhale, the arms back up to center. And exhale, the hands make their way to heart center. With the palms facing the sky, the ceiling, bring the hands down by the sides. Inhale, lift the chin up towards the ceiling, breathing into the front of the neck. And on the exhale, bring the left ear towards the left shoulder, making a slow and big neck circle to the right. Going as slow as you possibly can to notice what there is to notice about the neck and the shoulders. The next time your chin is down towards your chest, return the palms so they're facing down towards the mat, but keep them hovering above the mat ever so slightly, adding some tension to those fingertips. And then take the neck circle the opposite direction. Again, going as slow as you possibly can to notice what there is to notice about the neck space. Next time your chin is up towards the ceiling, pausing there and breathing into the front of the neck before inhaling the head back to center. We're going to do some seated cat and cow. So if holding onto your knees works best for you, you can keep your hands here. If you'd like to explore opening up and broadening of the chest, I invite you to come into capital letter T with the hands out wide, palms facing me. And on the exhale, dive down like you're diving into a pool, pressing into the shoulder blades, rounding the spine, tucking the chin into the chest. Inhale, chest comes forward, arms spread wide, chin comes up towards the ceiling. Exhale, dive down. Inhale, open up, chest comes forward, lift the chin. One more just like that. Exhale, dive. Inhale, open. And exhale, release the hands back down by the sides. We'll make our way into tabletop, coming onto our hands and knees, being mindful of the knees on whatever surface you're practicing on today, maybe choosing to add a cushion beneath them if it's most comfortable for you. And if tabletop position is not comfortable at all on your knees or your wrists, you can do this in a seated posture. Now we'll do some cat and cow in our tabletop. So on the inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin for cow. Exhale, tuck the chin, press up and into the shoulder blades for cat. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin, cow. Exhale, tuck the chin, round the spine, cat. 3 more to the pace of your own breath, going as fast or as slow as you need today. When you're done with your 5th, finding stillness in tabletop, gazing down in between the hands, bringing the big toes to touch behind you and widening the knees as much as is comfortable to you. They don't have to be super wide, maybe slightly wider than the hips. Walk that left hand forward about an inch, just a little bit more forward than is normally comfortable. And we're going to do a version of thread the needle coming into a child's pose. So add some weight to that left palm, and on the inhale, bring the right arm up to the sky. The head follows the hand. Exhale, swoop that right arm underneath the body, and then sink the hips over the heels, adding some weight to that right shoulder and bringing the forehead down on the mat. So instead of bringing the right cheek like we normally would and thread the needle, we're kind of keeping our weight in the center line of our body by bringing our forehead down to the mat or to a prop if we need to. Keeping that left hand reaching out in front of you. If this is too much on either the shoulders or the hips, you can come out of it a little bit. Sometimes this is a great pose to do if you have a bolster or a cushion beneath the torso. You can bring the knees closer together to alleviate any too much pressure on the hips. You can bring the forehead to a block. There's a number of ways you can use the props around you to support this pose for you. And again, just notice what there is to notice here, the shoulders and the hips. On the inhale, add some weight to that left palm as you carefully pull yourself back into table. Keeping the big toes touching behind you, knees slightly wider than the hips. Bring that right hand forward ever so slightly. Shift the weight into that right palm. Inhale. Left arm comes up towards the ceiling. The head follows the hand. Exhale, swoop that left arm under the body as you sink the hips over the heels, coming down on top of that left shoulder, bringing the forehead to the mat, and walking that right hand forward towards the top of the mat. Same thing on this side. Use any props to support you beneath the torso or the forehead. Relaxing the hips and the shoulders as much as you can. Notice what's here. What are you carrying that you no longer need to carry? And with every exhale, can you safely give yourself permission to release what no longer serves you? Maybe finding softness where there was tension, or compassion wherever there was harshness. Inhale, add some weight to that right palm and slowly pull yourself back into tabletop. Return the knees back to center. Curl the toes on the mat behind you and inhale, send the hips up to the sky. First downward facing dog. Take a moment to walk out the legs here, maybe bending one knee at a time or both at the same time. Being mindful of how the backside of the body feels. Finding stillness in down dog. Taking 3 deep breaths in and out through the nose. Inhale, look at your hands. Exhale, walk the feet to the hands, feet hip width distance apart, coming into ragdoll. Generous bend in the knees as you grab opposite elbows and allow the head to hang heavy over the legs. If it feels good to rock side to side, you might choose to do so. Really giving the upper body permission to relax. Let gravity do the work here. For so much of our day, our torso is in an upright position. Gravity's pulling it in one direction. This is a great opportunity to counter that. Finding stillness in ragdoll. Exhale, release the hands to the mat. And on the inhale, we're going to slowly roll up, one vertebrae at a time, as slow as we possibly can, just like a zombie. Noticing what there is to notice about the spine, being very mindful not to get any head rush. Once you are in an upright position, coming to the center of the mat in mountain pose, feet together, arms by the side, palms facing forward. Taking a moment to acknowledge anything you learned about yourself through the seated practice. Was there anything your body was trying to tell you to be careful of this evening? Any intention you'd like to set for yourself? And when you're ready, you can open the eyes if the eyes were closed. We're going to relink the movement to the breath. On the inhale, the arms come up overhead. The head follows the hands. Exhale, hands make their way to heart center. Two more just like that. Inhale, arms up, look up, reach up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. One more. Inhale, arms up, look up, reach up. And exhale, hands make their way to heart center. On the inhale, bring the right arm up overhead, left hand comes to hip. Reach that left arm up and over the right side body. Inhale, back up to center, switch those hands out, left hand comes up, right hand comes to the hip. Reach that left arm up and over the right side body. Inhale, back up to center, bring the right hand up to meet the left. Interlace the fingers, release the pointer tip finger, and on the exhale, grow nice and tall before taking it back just a little bit, micro back bend. Engage the core to do so. Inhale, back up to center, and exhale, forward fold. Come fold over those legs. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands can be on mat, blocks, shins, or thighs as you lift the chin and chest. Look forward, locking out those knees and the elbows. Exhale, forward fold, round over the legs, bend the knees. Inhale, press down through all four corners of the feet to rise to stand all the way up. And exhale, hands make their way to heart center. One more, just like that, a little variation. If you prefer the variation we just did, you can continue to do that. On the inhale, both hands come up. Reach both pointer fingers up towards the ceiling, and exhale, take both hands over to the right. Engage the core here. Keep pulling that right shoulder forward and that left shoulder back so we're not hunching forward like this. We're lifting the chin and chest, trying to twist open towards the ceiling. Inhale, use that core to pull you back up to center. Exhale, take both hands over to the left. Same thing on this side. Push that left shoulder forward, right shoulder back. Engage the core. Inhale, back up to center. Keep both hands reaching up to the sky above, and then exhale, take it back a little bit, micro back bend. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, forward fold, round over the legs, bend the knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands can be on mat, blocks, shins, or thighs as you lift the chin and chest. Look forward. Exhale, forward fold, round over the legs, bend the knees. Inhale, press down through the feet to rise all the way up to stand. And exhale, hands come to heart center. We're going to do some sun salutations. If you are practicing on a hard surface like I am, I invite you to have something in the middle of your mat to rest your knee upon, as we will be bringing our knee down to the mat quite a bit. If you have really sensitive knees, you don't have to drop the knee to the mat. You can stay in a lunge. Mountain pose at the top of the mat, feet together, hands by the side, palms facing forward. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step the right foot back. Drop the right knee and the top of the right foot to the mat. It's If you have blocks and you'd like to use them to help support your lunges, you can on either side of that left foot. On the inhale, engage the core as you lift the arms up towards the ceiling. The core engagement here is very important. We don't want to be sinking too far into this lunge. We want to maintain just the right amount of balance. Imagine someone's pulling you from the top of the head up to the ceiling. Even though some energy is going down, you're pulling up, you're countering that by engaging the core. Exhale, hands come down to frame the left foot. Curl the toes of the right foot on the mat behind you, straighten that right leg, runner's lunge. Send the left foot back to meet the right in plank. For plank, knees can be off of the mat or on the mat. Press up and into the shoulder blades, engage the core. If you'd like to go right into downward facing dog from here, you can. If you'd like to chaturanga, you can. Exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, slide those hands forward, cobra pose or baby cobra pose. Engage the core, squeeze the legs together. Exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. Hands come beneath shoulders, curl the toes. Exhale, press back through plank and into downward facing dog. Big inhale through the nose. Big exhale out through the mouth. Inhale, bring that right foot forward in between both hands. Drop the left knee and the top of the left foot to the mat. Inhale, both arms come up, low lunge. Same thing on this side. Engage that core. Keep lifting, reaching up towards the ceiling as you draw the shoulders away from ears. Exhale, hands come to frame the right foot. Curl the toes of the left foot on the mat behind you. Straighten the left leg. Runner's lunge. And use the power of that left foot to press off the mat. Bring the left foot to meet the right, forward fold. Rounding over those legs. Inhale, press down through all four corners of the feet to rise to stand all the way up. And exhale, hands come to heart center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold, round over those legs, bend the knees. Inhale, send the left leg back behind you, runner's lunge. Drop the left knee and the top of the left foot to the mat. Inhale, both arms come up, low lunge. Engage that core. Exhale, hands come down to frame the right foot. Curl the toes of the left foot on the mat behind you. Straighten the left knee. Runner's lunge. Send the right foot back to meet the left in plank. Knees can be up or down, your choice. You can go right into downward facing dog from here, or if you'd like to chaturanga, exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. Inhale, cobra, slide those arms forward slightly. Squeeze the elbows in towards the body. Engage the hamstrings, lift the chin and chest. Exhale, lower all the way down. Bring the hands beneath the shoulders. Curl the toes on the mat behind you. Press up into plank and into downward facing dog. Big inhale through the nose. Big exhale out through the mouth. Inhale, step that left foot forward in between both hands. Drop the right knee and the top of the right foot to the mat. Inhale, both arms come up overhead. Low lunge, engage the core, reach those arms up. Exhale, hands come down to frame the left foot. Curl the toes of the right foot on the mat behind you. Straighten the right knee, runner's lunge, and use the power of that right foot to press off. Bring the right foot to meet the left, forward fold. Inhale, press down through all four corners of the feet to rise to stand all the way up. And exhale, hands make their way to heart center. We're going to be doing the same thing, but adding a little bit more on. On the inhale, arms up, look up, reach up. Exhale, forward fold, round over the legs, bend the knees. Inhale, send the right foot back behind you, runner's lunge. Drop the right knee and the top of the right foot to the mat. Inhale, both arms come up to the ceiling. Engage the core, tuck that tailbone. Draw shoulders away from ears. If this is enough of a balancing challenge for you today, you can stay right here. If you're looking for a little bit more, I invite you to bring the hands to heart center and twist from the core to the left side, bringing the right elbow towards the left knee. If the right elbow reaches the left knee, you may choose to let it rest on that left knee, maybe using it to help you twist, but it doesn't need to get there. It's more important that the twist is happening from our core than it is from our arms. Inhale, arms back up to center. Exhale, hands come down to frame the left foot. Sink the hips over the right heel as you walk the hands back. If you had blocks here, they could help support your practice coming into half splits. Straightening the left leg as much as is comfortable for you. Maybe even bringing the toes pointed up towards the ceiling will help you feel a mild stretch behind the back side of the left leg. Keeping a lift in the chin and chest, flat back. Inhale, walk those fingertips forward. Straightening the right knee, coming into runner's lunge. Send the left foot back to meet the right in plank. Knees can be up or knees can be down, your choice. You can go right into downward facing dog from here, or if you'd like to chaturanga, you can do that as well. Exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower down, hands come beneath shoulders. Press yourself back through plank and into downward facing dog. Big inhale through the nose. Big exhale out through the mouth. Inhale, step the right foot forward in between both hands. Drop the left knee and the top of the left foot to the mat. Inhale, both arms come up, low lunge. Exhale, hands come to heart center and twist from the core, bringing the torso over towards the right edge of the mat. If the left elbow reaches the right knee, you may choose to rest it, maybe using that elbow as leverage to help you twist. But again, same thing on this side. It's more important that the twist is happening from the core and you're not intentionally just reaching for that knee. The core engagement is the most important part. Inhale, arms back up to center. Exhale, hands come down to frame that right foot. Sink the hips over the right heel. Half split, straighten that right leg as much as is comfortable. If you had blocks, it could help you balance. Bringing the torso more in an upright position would take away some of that pressure behind the right leg. Keep a lift in the chin and chest. Inhale, walk those hands forward, bend the right knee. Curl the toes of the left foot on the mat behind you. Runner's lunge, straighten the left knee. And use the power of that left foot to press off the mat. Bringing the left foot to meet the right. Forward fold, round over the legs, bend the knees as much as you need to. Inhale, press down through all four corners of the feet to rise to stand. And exhale, hands make their way to heart center. Inhale, arms up, look up, reach up. Exhale, forward fold, round over the legs, bend the knees. Inhale, step the left leg back. Drop the left knee and the top of the left foot to the mat. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, twist, left elbow comes towards right knee or just twisting open towards the right edge of the mat. Engaging the core the whole way. Inhale, arms back up to center. Exhale, hands come down to frame the right foot. We're going to come into pigeon here. Very slowly, heel toeing that right foot towards the left edge of the mat. Dropping the right knee to the mat. And notice how this feels here. Many people might benefit from having a prop of some sort beneath that right thigh. Or if this is just too much pressure on the right knee, you can do this in a seated position by bringing the right ankle on top of the left knee. Or you can do this in a reclined position, again with that right ankle on top of the left knee. So there's lots of ways you can adjust this pose to work best for your body. Allow, wherever you are, allow that right leg to do what it will naturally do. Some people can have that left foot completely parallel with the left edge of the mat. For some people, that right foot tucks under their body. No matter where you are, that's okay. Listen to your body and allow it to do what it naturally will do here. You can use any props to support you in this pose. Noticing if you're clenching any muscles like the glutes or the thighs, and if you are, with every exhale, see if you can safely relax those muscles. And if you can't, maybe adjust the posture, the pose, to find a way where you can. Or if this is too intense emotionally or physically, no matter what you do, listen to that as well. Maybe this pose isn't working for you today. Maybe this pose is what no longer serves you in this moment. It's very common when we hold poses for an extended period of time for sensations and emotions to change. Know that that's okay. If that's happening for you, then you always have a choice to engage in it or to move away from it. You control your practice. If you are in a forward fold of any kind, bring the hands to the mat and add some weight to the hands. If you are seated or on your back, please find your way out of the pose, meeting us in plank, curling the toes of the left foot on the mat behind you, straightening that right knee, adding some weight to those palms very carefully, bringing the right foot back to meet the left. In plank, knees can be up or down, your choice. You can go right into downward facing dog from here, or if you'd like to chaturanga, you can. Exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower all the way down. Hands come beneath shoulders. Curl the toes on the mat behind you. Inhale, press back up through plank and into downward facing dog. Big inhale through the nose. Big exhale out through the mouth. Inhale, step that left foot forward. Left foot comes between both hands. Drop the right knee and the top of the right foot to the mat. Inhale, both arms come up overhead. Exhale, right elbow comes towards left knee, twisting open to the left. Inhale, arms back up to center. Exhale, hands come down to frame. Over towards the right edge of the mat, coming into pigeon on this side. Same thing on this side, using any props to support you. Maybe choosing to add a block beneath the left thigh, or doing this in a seated position or in a reclined position by bringing the left ankle on top of the right knee. Maybe choosing to keep your weight in your hands or forward folding down towards the mat. Wherever you are in pigeon, finding a version that serves you on this side, knowing that it doesn't need to be the same as the other side. And then with every exhale, notice if you're clenching any muscles, and if you are, where can you release a little bit more? And if it doesn't feel safe to unclench, maybe choosing to adjust the posture or move out of it. If you're in a forward fold, bringing your hands to the mat, adding some weight to the palms. Bring the toes of the right leg on the mat behind you, straighten that right leg, and very carefully come back to the left foot. Runner's lunge. Use the power of that right foot to press off the mat, bringing the right foot to meet the left in forward fold, rounding over the legs, bending the knees. And on the inhale, press down through all four corners of the feet to rise to stand all the way up. And exhale, hands make their way to heart center, keeping the hands at heart center for a moment. Noticing what there is to notice right now, maybe your heart rate or your breath. Maybe it's something you found curious in your body throughout that flow. Honoring whatever was true for you. And we'll move into a balancing pose. We're going to come into eagle, which works both our shoulders and our hips. We'll start with the legs. I want to show you two variations. If you are someone who struggles with balancing on one foot, I invite you to keep both feet on the mat for this and just work on sitting in chair. So to do so, we keep the feet together or any distance that best serves you, but ideally not farther apart than the hips. And on the inhale, we sink our hips back like we're sitting in a chair and reach the arms up towards the ceiling, keeping a lift in the chin and chest. We're moving in two opposite directions. If that feels okay, that's what you can do with your body for eagle. If balancing on one leg is okay, we're going to come into chair and then take the right leg on top of the left. And we'll do that after we get our arms together. So hands out in front of you, palms facing the ceiling, right hand under left, making an X at the elbows. Bend the elbows, bringing the hands together in front of the face. If the hands don't come together in front of the face, that's okay too. You can keep them where they are if it feels okay in your body, or you can choose to grab opposite shoulders. Whatever best serves you. And on the exhale, we'll sink our hips down into chair. You can choose to stay right here, or if you would like to try balancing on one leg, take the right leg up, bring it over the left leg. Always finding a focal point, ideally something that's not moving in front of you, and resting your gaze upon that spot. Knowing that no matter how many times you fall out of it, you're strengthening both your body and your mind. On the inhale, slowly uncross the knees, arms come up overhead. And exhale, release them down to the side, shake out the arms and legs. We'll do the same thing on the opposite side. Hands come out in front of you, palms facing the ceiling. This time, left hand crosses under right, crossing at the elbows. Bend the elbows, bringing the hands together in front of the face. If the hands don't come together in front of the face, you can leave them where they are, or you can grab opposite shoulders. Either works for this pose. Exhale, chair pose, sink the hips back, keeping a lift in the chin and chest. And then if you're doing one-legged, bring the left knee on top of the right. Noticing what the breath is doing and where the mind is going, keeping the eyes still really helps support the balance in our body. It's very common for one side to look and feel entirely different. So that's okay if that's happening for you. Just notice what's there. And inhale, release the legs, arms come up overhead. And exhale, release the arms, shake out the arms and legs. We'll make our way into a few seated postures. Coming into counting. So I invite you to have a prop like a yoga strap, or a robe tie might work, or even a belt, or you can just grab your shirt behind you as well. If you know you have tight hips, you might benefit from sitting on a prop of some kind, either a block or a cushion or a bolster. Having the hips elevated above the knees can help you in this pose. So knowing your body and what best serves you, you can choose to add whatever you need for this pose today. To come into cow face, we're going to start by hugging our right knee into our chest. My right foot is over my left leg. My left leg is out in front of me, toes pointed up towards the ceiling. And then on the exhale, very gently drop that right knee on top of left. So we're stacking the right knee on top of our left knee. And notice how this feels already in the outside of the right hip. If you're already feeling a mild to moderate sensation, you can stay right here. You don't need to go any further because this is the target area of this pose. If you're not feeling much of a sensation, explore shifting your weight into your left glute, bending that left knee, and very carefully returning the weight to both sit bones. Again, if you're seated on a prop, raising the floor up a little bit, this might help you if you have tighter hips. So if you were to look down at your legs, you'd see the right knee stacked on top of the left and your heels on opposite sides of the hips. One cue for this pose, just to help you get into it, is that your knees are stacked on top of each other and your heels are ideally in the same line. But as I said in the beginning of class, each pose is more what it feels like in your body versus what it looks like on the outside. So if you don't have quite that same alignment, that is perfectly okay. That's just a cue to help you notice where you are in space on your mat. If you are just working the hips today, you can stay right here. You don't have to worry about the shoulders. If you'd like to go into the full expression of cow pose, you can take the left hand up forward and the right arm out by the side, palm turned away from you, so facing the back wall. You're going to externally rotate that right arm. And then at the same time, we're bending the elbow. So that left hand's going to come down behind our head, and that right hand's going to come back along our spine, working its way up towards the left hand. So you may be able to reach your fingers behind your back naturally, or if you can't or you don't know where those fingers are, you can hold on to your shirt behind there, or this is where that yoga strap comes in handy. If you have a yoga strap, you can share it between both hands behind you and slowly walk those hands together. What tends to happen in this pose is most people will jump that rib cage forward to try to get the hands to touch behind you. So notice if that's true and see if you can keep a neutral spine without forward folding too much and without bowing the spine too much. And then keeping the grip wherever it is, whether you're holding onto your other hand or your shirt or yoga strap. See if you can relax those shoulders and relax the hips a little bit. On the exhale, very carefully release the clasp of the hands. So if you're holding a strap, drop it. If you're holding your shirt, release it. Then slowly undo the hands, bringing the hands down by the sides, maybe taking some shoulder circles. Noticing any sensations between the shoulders and the arms, if they're the same or different. And then we'll come out of the bottom half of this pose the same way we came in. So gently shift your weight into that left sit bone, straighten the left leg out in front of you. Hug that right knee into the chest. And then bring the right leg alongside the left. Hands can come behind you, maybe choosing to bounce the knees or rock the feet from left to right, taking any counter poses that feel good for you here. Noticing how the right hip feels compared to the left. And then we'll set up for the opposite side. So same thing for this side. If you know you have tight hips, you could explore raising the floor up, elevating the hips above the heels by sitting on a prop of some sort. One of you hug that left knee into the chest, the left foot. Carefully drop the left knee so it's stacked on top of the right Notice how the outside of the left hip feels. If you already feel a mild to moderate sensation here, you can stay right here. If you're not feeling much of anything, you'd shift the weight into that right sit bone and bend the right knee, bringing that right foot towards the outside of the left hip. So if you were to look down at your legs, you'd see the left knee stacked on top of the right and both heels on opposite sides of the hips. If you are just working with the hips today, you can stay right here. You don't have to engage in the upper portion of the body if you don't want to. If you do want the full expression of the pose, we're going to do the opposite. So this time we're going to take our right hand, bring it up towards the ceiling, palm facing forward. Left hand comes out towards the left side, palm facing the back wall, thumb pointed down. Externally rotate that left arm. Behind the back of the head, and that left hand goes up the spine, reaching towards the hand. You may be able to grab the hands together. If you can't, you can grab onto the shirt and hold onto the shirt, or you can use a yoga strap. And slowly inch those hands together. But no matter where you are, keep in mind that we want to be practicing mindfully and kindly to our body. We don't want to engage in a pose that causes pain or harm. And ideally, in any of these poses that we hold for an extended period, has more of a yin-like quality to it, we want to look for a mild. Anything over that would be doing harm to our body. So breathing naturally, unclenching the muscles, those are our body's way, our body's signal that tells us we're usually in mild to moderate zone. Noticing what your torso is naturally doing, if you're bowing the ribs forward or contracting, and seeing if you can find a neutral spine. Exhale, very carefully release the arms. Maybe roll the shoulders. Noticing any differences in the two. Carefully come out of the leg position by straightening the right leg and then taking the leg off of the hands behind you, maybe choosing to bounce the knees or rock the feet from left to right. And we'll come into dragonfly as our last seated pose together today. Bringing our legs into a wide V, as wide as feels comfortable for you. So if your V is only 6 inches apart, that's fine. The key word is comfortable. We're looking for a mild to moderate sensation in the inside lines of the legs. And once you have where your feet need to be to feel that mild to moderate sensation, notice what the core is doing. If you are engaging the core just to maintain an upright position, you feel like someone's pushing you backwards, you'd be a great candidate to elevate the hips by sitting on a block or a prop of some sort, or bringing the hands behind you and using the hands as a kickstand. You don't have to be in a forward fold to feel a mild to moderate sensation in this pose. If you are able to maintain an upright position without any strain in the core, you can stay in the upright position if you're feeling a mild to moderate sensation in the inside lines of the legs. If not, you might choose to walk those fingertips forward any amount until you do feel that mild to moderate sensation. And this is different for everyone. Or your forehead on a prop. Maybe you're all the way. Allow do so if they're turning. Okay. It's very common when you're holding a pose for an extended period, usually more than a minute, more than 60 seconds. It's common for our body to do one of three things. One, we maintain that mild to moderate threshold for the entirety of the time. The other thing that can happen is you might lose that sensation, it might disappear. So if you're in that mild to moderate threshold of sensation and it goes away, that's an invitation for you to move a little bit deeper, very gently and mindfully into that next edge, wherever you feel that next mild to moderate sensation. Or the opposite may happen. You might go from being in a mild to moderate zone to now all of a sudden you're in a painful zone where you're now holding your breath, right? You're now clenching those muscles in the target area. In which case, that's your body's way of telling you that you have gone past. You're no longer doing your body any benefit, you're harming yourself, and to come out of it a little bit or entirely. So, all of the signals that our body sends us throughout the day, throughout any practice we do, that's information for you to adjust what you're doing, to give yourself what you need. If you're in a forward fold, carefully add some weight to the palms and walk the hands to the body, bringing the torso to an upright position. If your hands are behind you, you can keep them behind you. Everyone brings their hands behind them and then very carefully bring the legs out in front of you. Again, maybe giving them a little shake, bouncing the knees or rocking the feet from left to right. You can carefully remove that prop out of the way. We're going to make our way onto our backs. Lying down on our backs, same way we began class with. So if you were in Supta Baddha Konasana, or reclined butterfly pose, you may choose soles of the feet together and allowing the knees to open wide towards the edges of the mat. Maybe you choose to return the arms to cactus pose or just out by the sides, or maybe you choose to keep them resting somewhere on the body, or maybe you choose to lie flat on your back in corpse pose. Whatever pose best serves you today, I invite you to commit to it for Shavasana, choosing a pose where you can entirely relax the body, closing the eyes if it's able to do so. Body permission to release and relax, starting with the legs, the feet and the legs, allowing them to rest heavy where they are, relaxing the belly, relaxing the shoulders, the arms and the hands, allowing them to rest heavy, relaxing the neck and the head, all of the muscles on the tongue, the jaw, the eyes, completely supporting the benefits from today's practice. On your next inhale, take a full deep breath in through the nose, filling the belly, the rib cage, and the chest with breath. Noticing any sensations that enter the body with the breath. And when you're ready, very carefully straightening the legs, straightening the arms up overhead, taking a full body stretch, like you've just woken up for the first time in the day. Maybe opening and closing the fingers, the hands, the toes, rocking the feet from left to right, rocking the head from left to right, like you're shaking your head no, but slowly. Bringing slow and small and gentle movements back into the body. And when you're ready, rolling into fetal position on the right side, pausing there for a moment before pressing yourself back to a comfortable seated posture. Taking your time to get there and getting there your own way. And bringing hands to heart center to close your practice today. Taking a moment to acknowledge what's showing up for you in this moment physically, mentally, and emotionally. Honoring any of the information your body gave you throughout this practice today, and thanking our bodies for all that they do for us throughout our life. Gently bowing the chin towards the hands, honoring your practice as I honor yours. May your practice be a benefit to you and to all of those around you. Thank you very much for sharing your practice with me. I bow in gratitude of each of you. Thank you, everyone.